And I think you have to kind of take a step back and see what the biggest players in the world are doing. And the biggest players are the central banks who are massively de-dollarizing and buying commodities. And I think that's kind of the thrust that fits hand in glove with Zoltan Pozsar said. We are heading into a new era based on commodities and transparency, not opaque debt instruments and promises that seem to fall short. And I just think that this is something that will be a very, very...
You're watching Silver News Daily. Like this video and subscribe to the channel for the best news that you don't want to miss. Now let's get straight to it.
You have to get that out of our heads that once we reach a 15-to-1 ratio again, not exactly 15-to-1, I'm not saying wait for that number and then spend everything, but once we get closer to it, like 25, 20, you start spending. At that point, I don't think the dollar is going to be acceptable in commerce, really. Maybe in the same way that maybe a peso in Argentina is acceptable because someone's going to exchange it immediately for dollars. Like a dollar might be acceptable because somebody who's going to accept it is going to exchange it immediately for silver. But you'll want the silver directly. So yeah, it's not like you were going, the point isn't to buy silver at, let's say, $25 and then sell it at, I don't know, whatever, 300, whatever it's going to be, and then take the dollar profits and then you're going to be rich, right? That's not going to be the environment. The environment is going to be when nobody wants dollars, so who cares about what dollar profits you're going to make? You want the stuff so you can buy things for your life, right? We're not going to be exchanging them back into dollars. We're going to be buying things with them because they are money. So then what is the most recognizable form of money? It's probably going to be constitutional 90% junk silver, because people will still recognize dollars. They'll recognize half dollars, quarters, dimes, those kinds of coins, American. I mean, if you have junk silver of your local country, then probably if I know in Australia they had silver coins until 1966, so you want to get those, and those have very low numismatic value, which I think is good for spending money, because numismatics are basically art, and there's nothing wrong with art, but you're not going to be buying food with art. You're going to be buying food with money, and so I would get away from numismatics. If you collect them, that's fine, but I know you're collecting art. And bullion coins, preferably of your country, but I'm...
Imagine a future where your golden years come earlier than expected, not just a dream, but a tangible reality. Today, we're unveiling a groundbreaking insight that could change your life. Experts are pointing to a gold price surge, possibly hitting an astonishing $5,844. But how could this be possible? Let's dive into the facts and figures that can make your early retirement not just a dream, but an impending reality. Just when the tides seem to turn, gold prices have begun to recover lost ground, currently hovering around $2,024. But what's driving this resurgence? Let's dissect the current economic indicators and their intertwined relationship with the price of gold. The U.S. is showcasing some robust economic figures, defying expectations with a decrease in jobless claims and a manufacturing sector that's showing signs of grit despite the odds. But here's where it gets interesting. The Federal Reserve's narrative of tighter for longer is stirring the pot, influencing these figures and potentially shaping the future trajectory of gold prices. In this intricate dance of economics and market predictions, gold stands at the center, gleaming with potential. Stay with us as we delve deeper into this narrative and uncover how these economic undercurrents could lead us to a golden horizon. The U.S. economic landscape is showing resilience, with initial jobless claims falling and manufacturing surveys outperforming expectations. But there's a twist. The tighter for longer narrative around the Federal Reserve is influencing these figures, potentially shaping the future trajectory of gold prices. Could these indicators be the catalysts for a gold price surge? The intertwining of strong economic data and a steadfast Federal Reserve paints a complex picture. On one hand, we have an economy that's beating the odds, yet on the other, a central bank cautious about changing its course too swiftly. This delicate balance is what gold prices thrive on: uncertainty and speculation. As we peel back the layers of this economic saga, the question remains: how will these factors converge to propel gold to unprecedented heights? Stay tuned as we continue to explore this golden puzzle, piece by piece. In a world where certainty is a luxury, expert predictions hold the power to sway markets. A top market specialist has thrown a number in the ring that's hard to ignore: $5,844 for gold. But why this number? What are the underlying factors that could propel gold to such heights? Let's analyze the whispers and theories circulating in the corridors of finance. It's not just about the current economic indicators or the Federal Reserve stance. It's about understanding the broader picture, the global economic climate, the shifts in investment trends, and the timeless allure of gold as a safe haven. As we delve deeper into this prediction, we uncover a narrative of opportunity, risk, and the potential for a future where the glint of gold brings not just wealth, but the promise of an early retirement. As we navigate through these golden predictions, let's take a moment to ponder the implications. Imagine the possibility of retiring early, a future where your hard-earned investments in gold pave the way to a life of comfort and security, much sooner than you ever anticipated. It's a thought that not only captivates the mind, but also sparks a flurry of questions and considerations. Now, think about this. What does this bold forecast of gold hitting $5,844 mean for you personally? Could this be the key to unlocking your early retirement dreams, or is it a beacon guiding you towards a more cautious approach in navigating the complex world of investments? It's not just a question of market trends and economic indicators. It's a deeply personal journey into understanding your financial goals and how this significant shift in gold prices could align with your aspirations. But let's not stop at contemplation. This is a call to action, an invitation to engage in a dialogue that goes beyond the surface. Share your thoughts, your hesitations, your strategies. How are you positioning yourself in this potentially transformative market shift? Are you a steadfast believer in the enduring value of gold, or are you weighing the myriad of factors that could influence its trajectory? Your insights and experiences are invaluable, painting a richer, more diverse picture of the potential that lies ahead. And while we delve into this discussion, let's not forget the importance of staying informed and connected. Subscribe now to ensure you don't miss out on any crucial updates or insights that could further shape your understanding.
I wanted to mention was an interesting conversation I had with a family member.
We're going to take our look at our first
watches CNN nonstop. Believes that the worst thing that could happen to this country would be Trump were reelected, would never watch Fox News, would never acknowledge the other side of the equation. And it's interesting, we were talking about the border crisis. And look, for me, family is more important than anything done again. And I try not to bring in politics when talking with my family members, because those members who look at life a little bit differently than I do. Because in the end, one of the things, as I've said repeatedly, that bothers me more than anything in this environment we live in is the lack of unity found in this country. And I find it disturbing. And, I come from a place where, I've said it before, my parents were hippies. And I come from a place of, I don't care what your background is. I don't care what you do behind closed doors. That to me doesn't matter. It's as long as you're not imposing upon me, great. I hope we're still friends. Because those things to me get in the way of friendship. You can have differing opinions as long as you do it with respect. And I think that's lacking these days. But we had this conversation and the conversation went something to the extent, I feel so sorry, she said, for all of these migrants and their children coming, walking from Central America, hundreds and hundreds of miles and going through all of the risk. And I do too. I said to her, but what about all of these middle-aged men that you see of different ethnic origins that are showing up at the border with a suitcase and a clean shirt? They didn't walk. Where did they come from? And her comment to me was, really, I've never seen any of that. So my point to you, and I said, I thought to myself, this is why this country is in such big trouble, because the lack of information that is being fair and balanced, as Fox likes to call it, half of the country does not see what the other half does. And that's why half of the country thinks the other half is out of their mind. And I wonder what it will take for this country to become united again, because the person I had this conversation with, I will tell you, is one of the smartest people I know, intellectually, very well read, but evidently reading and watching the wrong stuff. And I think it's something for people to ponder as they think about why it's so hard for them to have these feelings when so many people around them think they're crazy. All of us tinfoil hat wearing conspiratorialists really aren't so tinfoil hat wearing, or not conspiratorialists. There's a fine line between reality and conspiracy these days. But it really opened my eyes, because this person is really smart. And when I watch Fox News, as an example, or when I'm studying the internet, you see thousands and thousands and thousands of military-age men with clean shirts and a wheelie suitcase that are at our borders. Now, how did they get there? Where did they come from? They did not walk from Central America. Why are they here? And her comment to me is, I have never seen that before. And I just want that to kind of permeate, because I think it's on a bigger, it's bigger than just this. It's everything that a lot of us look at, whether it be about economics or politics or problems at the border. And the comment from this person was, the current administration, I think, has done an amazing job. Now, I had to just stop the conversation right there, or it would have spiraled into something that, because it's not about politics. I just think that what it truly is about a lack of credible information. And that's why, people who are watching this video, send these kinds of things out to your friends and your family. Send out information that people can hopefully get a more well-rounded appraisal of exactly what is happening in this country, because I walked away from that dinner thinking this country's in very big trouble, because half of the country, no matter how they feel about each other, even family, will never be able to communicate or see things the exact same.
On its history, the Fed has never anticipated anything. So if they anticipate this, it'll be a miracle. They talk a lot, but they're just a big, focus group or press. What do you call those? A focus group, a marketing firm. They're a marketing firm for the U.S. dollar, for the U.S. economy. They're just cheerleaders. So, given the fact that they've never really predicted anything or seen anything in advance, I don't think they're going to see this in advance. But they could talk about maybe easing, but they're not going to do anything until they have to. But what I can tell you is in Israel, the Bank of Israel already started cutting interest rates, right? It's a special situation here because this is a country at war and things are a little bit more stressed out. So the Bank of Israel appears to be preempting what they probably see as an impending recession, at least here. But if one country is doing it and we are connected to the rest of the Western financial system, then other central banks are soon to follow. But I don't think it'll be because they decide to meet one day in the FOMC and say, we should probably start cutting interest rates because we see a recession coming. You could argue that the first few cuts of a rate cutting cycle are to sort of prepare the path or to pave the road, and that happens a few times. But I wouldn't call that predicting anything, because soon after that rate cutting cycle starts, maybe you could say like in 2006 they started cutting rates, but then they expect to do it very gradually, like over 5-10 years or whatever it was. But then all of a sudden 2008 happens and they have to cut all the way to zero. And you could say even that in 2019, when the Repocalypse hit, they were like a day or two late on preventing the Repocalypse. But okay, it was a day or two of interest rates going out of control, but the world still kept spinning and the financial world kept existing as it does. So they stepped in fast enough, and so you could say they technically saw it coming and they prevented a catastrophe. But then 2020 happened and they had to go right back to zero. So they didn't anticipate that. They're not going to anticipate this. Maybe they'll cut once or twice, but somewhere in that rate cutting cycle, they're going to cut right back to zero and be surprised by whatever thing happens that hits the fan, and we don't know what it's going to be exactly.
So basically what they were saying is The journey to a gold price of $5,844 is not just a number plucked from the air, but a tapestry woven from a multitude of economic indicators, market sentiments, and expert analysis. This narrative is more than a tale of rising gold prices. It's a story of how global economic dynamics, individual financial strategies, and the metal that has captivated humanity for millennia could converge to redefine what early retirement could look like. As we stand on the brink of what could be a monumental shift in the value of gold, it's crucial to approach this scenario with a blend of optimism and caution. Remember, the world of investments is as volatile as it is enticing. The possibility of gold reaching such staggering heights brings with it not just dreams of early retirement, but also the need for a well-thought-out strategy grounded in thorough research and a clear understanding of one's financial goals and risk tolerance. While we've explored the various facets that could lead to this golden price surge, it's important to note that this is not financial or investment advice. Instead, consider this a journey through the fascinating world of gold and its potential impacts on your future. A reminder to always stay informed, question, and critically assess every piece of information before making any financial decision. And as we wrap up this insightful journey, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Stay connected, stay informed, and be part of a community that values deep understanding and thoughtful discussion about the financial world and the myriad opportunities it presents. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of gold's potential path to $5,844 and what it could mean for your dreams of early retirement. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep striving for your financial goals.